All right, everybody. Hey, welcome to another episode of Tech Packs Are Due. Hey, happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Happy holiday, start of the holiday season. Look, I want to do a special episode for everybody because we are at over 300 subscribers as of a couple days ago. And I just want to show my appreciation by kind of sneaking an episode in. It's not lost on me that we were here at 300 subscribers. I hope this is just the beginning. I hope we are just going to keep going down this road. It is incredible. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the comments and the likes and everything and getting this podcast shared and, maybe blow up one day or something, or we get good, we get the content right. Whatever. Like maybe I'll get a co-host again. Who knows? Yeah. Point is, it's not lost on me. 300 subscribers is, it's crazy. I know Instagram is something, it's easy to hit follow. I know YouTube is a whole other thing and you got to bounce over to YouTube and it's a whole show and everything. So it's a little more, it's a bigger part of the funnel, but, hey, thanks for liking and subscribing. All right. To start this episode, I just want to say, that the opinions expressed in this show are my own and not the opinions or anything of my employer, past, present, or future. There we go. Hey, as a part of this episode being number 300, this episode's not number 300, getting 300 subscribers. I just want to say, I just want to throw it out there. We know Sketch Session is going well. We know the guest interviews are going well. And I get that. And that was kind of the intent of the podcast in general. But hey, I would love if everyone got in the comments, if you care to do this, you don't have to or whatever. Hey, just jump in. Tell me what's going right. Tell me what's going, what do you want to see more of? What you don't want to see? What I should scrap? I'm at the point where I'm thinking about changing the name at some point, like to just like be more, just to make it more clear as to what we're doing here, that this is all about footwear. This is about professional footwear design, how to get better, how to improve, all those things. And so I'm just throwing it out there. If you have anything you want to see more of, certainly the portfolio review episode is coming. We're getting there. We will get it. It's going to be great. Hopefully that'll be December's big episode. But nonetheless, if you, have something you want to say, send it out. Let's make that this episode all about that. Speaking of comments, man, it's been funny to see, I put out these reels, right? And it's really just the advertising to get people to the YouTube page so we can build this audience on YouTube. But, it is funny to see reactions of people who don't understand what we're trying to do here. I'm never going to be one of the ones who gets in the comments. I don't have time for that. I got a whole thing going on over here. In my life, but it was funny to see people have some funny reactions to me telling like designers to not skew logos. And it's only one comment or two comments, whatever. It's not a big deal, but it's just funny. Like you don't really get the intent. Like you can understand that people are seeing this and not getting it. Like this is not, these aren't artists, renditions of shoes. This is not a still life of a shoe on a wherever. And maybe we can go down the road of like different types of streetwear where you could If you wanted to exaggerate the logo, of course you can do that. You're a designer. However, if you're just presenting like inline, nothing fancy, you're in nothing fancy. I mean, like you're presenting new concepts, but the branding's got to be clear. I mean, no matter what is going on, and I'll check in with Valerie on this one. If Hoka, if Hoka does stay awake at night, like if the designers aren't putting the logo there, but undoubtedly, like you have to do the logo in a certain way. I refuse to believe that people in Hoka are allowed to like stretch logos and askew them into perspective and stuff. I highly doubt it. Unless you're putting it on like a 3D model and that model, shows the wrapping correctly and all that stuff, then like, yeah, sure. Like if you're spinning something in 3D and they can see it, that it's like the true logo, but like, even still, like there's a point in which you push it too far. And that's all that I was trying to say on that sketch sesh. Is like people are going to ask you questions about every little thing you do in a design, everything. I mean, from the laces, that lace guard thing, that's going to be questioned up and down. Like, why are you doing this? And the foundation of your reasoning better be great. And this is all fictitious anyway. So it's like, but what I'm trying to say is like, I'm trying to illustrate these things as like, this is problems. These are things that are going to come up. How you respond is how you respond. It's that you need to be ready to explain yourself if you're going to, on a flat surface, skew the Hoka branding like into perspective like that. Anyway, regardless of that, whatever. It is what it is. But hey, we are here, 300 subscribers. Drop your wish you could have into the comments. Let us know, and by us, me, let us know what we can be doing better or what do you want to see more of. Sketch-S is something I'm just going to keep hammering away at. I want to get better at it. I want it to flow. I want every designer I talk to be on that, just so you can see the depth, the breadth. Coming up, we're going to try copying styles of different designers that I see around, ones that I think are really good. See if I can, try to like break down what they're doing if you want to do it yourself. But the point is, hey, we're here. We've made it milestone 300. So with this episode, what I wanted to do is I got a mailbag. I've been buying a lot of shoes. I've kind of shot this episode three times now because I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to shoot it and the quality was getting weird. So I think I figured out something that works and we're going to figure it out. But this is going to be a design review. I've got 2 shoes that I think are interesting, and then I'm going to appendix the rest that I shot in the first couple episodes, whatever, or the first rounds B-roll of this episode. I messed it up. I don't know. I was zoomed in really far on my face, and I don't know if you people want to like be really that in on me, but you'll see that anyway. It's just funny. Life of a footwear designer, part-time podcaster, videographer, whatever. So I've got 2 shoes in for review. And I think these are worthy. One special, we're going to put most of the time on that. Daniel Shirley sent me a pair of his 3D printed shoes. I've been wanting to get a pair of 3D prints for a while, especially the Zellerfeld. I think they're just catching fire, especially with the Nike stuff happening. So we're going to talk about that. And then I'm going to talk about and do a little humble brag about a little bit of the home team in the Rad UFO. So let's just jump into that. You can see it, here. Now I'm going to say it. And I'm going to say this. When I when I first saw this shoe, I'm gonna tee it off this way. I had nothing to do with this product. I mean, I had like some feedback into it. I saw it in not fully completed stages, but it was pretty darn close. And so I'm not taking any credit for this, which is why I want to like talk about it, because I think this design right here is one of, it is such a great design. It's one of those things where I wish I did it. The simplicity here, the simplicity of the forms, the tightness of everything, the finish of everything on this shoe is, man. And that it's coming from a brand so small is mind-blowing to me. This is incredible. So I just want to give a shout out to this thing, especially this orange one, which I love. I love orange. I love a pop of color. I know there's pink and white, but the orange one just caught my eye. I was like, this is the one. Might get another pair. I don't even have it in me to like wear these around. Right now I'm calling these my in-house shoes. They're my in-office UFOs. Like I'll slip them on for a meeting if I want to feel extra peppy. I was seated a wear test pair for Hood to Coast, and I ran in those, and man, like I was running all kinds of stuff. I put on the Evo SL. I put on a couple Mizuno things. I've done a lot of stuff, and ran in a couple Hoka products, and man, the majority of my miles though were ate up in the UFO. I kept going back to it. It felt like the best for me, for my pace, for what I wanted to do, what I wanted to achieve. It was fast, quick, always gave back. And then if I slowed down, it was there to help me as well. It just had everything. But design review wise, anyway, so that's that. Design review wise, again, the simplicity of this, it's hard to even like talk about it, because what you see is what you have. Like, but just so quickly, this line, the dynamic nature, I got the 2-cam, I got the multi-cam going. The dynamic nature of this skin, this TPU going around, it just kind of carries you around 360. This whole thing of infinite return and infinite energy is, it's something we like to talk about in the run anyway. I mean, basically all running product at some point at the higher levels are saying you can run in this all day. You're going to want to keep going. I found that to be true with this one. But it just has like this kind of infinite kind of return. It is UFO like. I mean, it does look somewhat otherworldly, especially in like this orange. I think when you call something a UFO, it comes with a level of like a little level of caricature that it has to carry. I see this and I just think it's great. I love the little reflectives. I think those are like my favorite things about this shoe. These little TPU, they're just these like thin, just mounds. They're just nicely sculpted. The sections of them have got to be really nice. I mean, it's just so simple, so easy. The collar's nice, the lining's nice, and then it's all distilled and easy, and then they hit you with it, and the branding on the inside is just like in your face. It comes the same way on the box. I threw my box away. I knew I was going to keep these. There was no way. The branding hits you hard, which I think is awesome. You got to have it somewhere. Like you got to have a loud UFO statement at some point. Orange, the color matching, that's so hard to do with paint and material. They're really trying to put it, and they're trying to put it together. And then you have like the clear rubber plus the orange coming together, plus the upper. It's, man, I'm telling you, this is It's high quality work. I love these finish details. You're seeing on the lace, you got those, the webbing eyelet things that we've been seeing pop up all over the place the last few years. Those are nice. Contain the lace. The lace is nice. You're getting this plush, like not super stretchy lace. It feels high end. I love the shapes of the tongue. The tongue represents, like, it wraps and looks like it's all kind of concentric and builds on each other. The tongue shaping of the pad, of the foam pad for lace pressure, represents like what the throat of the shoe is going to look like. The tongue texture of the materials, premium. I mean, like, everything hits. And when you're designing a shoe, when you're a designer and you're working on this and you're rounds and rounds deep, when you've kind of landed on a finished product. And I'm imagining, I wasn't there for this, so I don't know. But I'm imagining as you build it up, you're building this shoe up, you're seeing like, oh man, that doesn't like get there. You get another one, you're like, I'll just tweak this and this and this. You get another sample back, you're like, I'll tweak this and this and this. And before you know it, you've landed on something that's pure, it's distilled, it captures the intent. And then, so simple. I love the outsole as well, how it's just this radial pattern. It's all so easy to digest, but it's done in a dynamic way. I love our logo in the center, radiating out heel to toe, very central focused on the branding. Another big thing, branding. We talked about it. I love the top line, this bouncy, this flowy, this dune-like softness that's going on. And then, I don't know, like again, I come back to the TPU, but it's like kind of the hero of the shoe that keeps you moving. It really feels painty and oozy and like all those things that I don't know, that's like a shoe's come out that's captured like a style like this. And like, especially in here, it's like kind of gloopy. Like, and I don't know if you want to like have something be described as that, but it's fast in its finish. So it's like, yeah, it's doing these things, but it's quick. It gets you around it. You're not stuck in one spot. You're always turning this thing around. It's a thing of beauty. So shout out Quinn for this amazing design. This shoe is, turning heads, making waves throughout the industry right now. Man, I love it. And I just like, it's good when you get it. Like, I don't even have the heart to like put this on. Like, I just want to have it to see it. Like, that's where I'm at with this one. I just want to, look at it, and keep it pristine. So that's that. All right. I can talk about this shoe all day. But we should move on. All right. For the real deal, I'm going to move these over. All right. Zellerfeld. This is my first shot at this. And I'm going to unbox this, and we're going to talk about the design. And then I'll talk about kind of the on foot, kind of the feel of this shoe as well, since I have had a little bit of time to wear it now. Yeah. Well, let me start that over. All right. Zellerfeld. We're going to talk about the design of this. Daniel sent this to me, and, I kind of came to him a few months ago, and I was like, hey, I really want to get one of your shoes. And I just said, hey, like, what do you suggest? Whatever. And you know, I was like, oh, I'm kind of really feeling Nublado. It really kind of, I think, is the closest one to my style. And then he actually started working on the Eddy. And I was like, actually, dude, like, I don't know when these are coming out, but I'd probably wait for the Eddy because it just feels like something I'm going to wear, and wear a lot. And he said, yo, like a couple weeks later, he's like, hey, you want a pair? And I was like, absolutely, I do. Like, are you kidding me? This is the first time in my shoe history. I've received discounts and blah, 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 blah. This is the first time I have ever received a free pair of shoes. So I'm gonna gush over that a little bit. I will give my unbiased review, but just put it at a 10 out of 10 just because of that. That is my first comp shoe. I mean, like, how is that even possible? I don't know. I tried to get on like basketball wear tests, but you know, no one wants me. I don't know why, but I don't know. You know, anyway, I want to wear test basketball shoes. If you're out there, I know I'm a competitor, whatever. I love basketball. I'm not mixing. I wish Footwear would just get over that. I'm not mixing brands. I'm not doing any of that. I just want to make the best product. And I want you to make the best product too. As weird as that is to say. All right, so Zellerfeld. Let's see the branding, see the logo, see the stuff. It's personalized to me. You know, they say it's got my name on it. Came from Germany. It's TPU. Zellerfeld, of course, is really trying to bring the tech when it comes to 3D printing. I think it's just gotten better and better and better. To the point where Nike, has signed off on it. Which is interesting because you'd think someone like Nike is going to bring that in-house and like try to like own it, own the tech. But hey, if you are established and you're light years ahead and the overhead was a ton of money or something, then look, I guess it makes sense for a super company like Nike to just move in, anyway, so Zellerfeld's really cool. They have been printing shoes. I really like their business model where they're allowing designers to freelance, come in, make a shoe. They'll print it, do all the development work and all that stuff. And then it lives on the site and you can just buy it and it gets printed like to order kind of a deal. I think that's, hopefully the way of the future. Anyway, and then when you buy it, they really sell you on it. You get this nice box. It's probably one of the nicest shoe boxes I've ever seen. It's canvas covered, hard, cardboard. It's nice. It's finished. It's premium. And they give you some messaging. So step into the future, which I think we are. And then they really hit you with it. I saw this and I was like, do I even mention this one? Because I don't know if I'm going to like comment on this. It says future inside, sweatshop free, fully recyclable. And I don't know if we should just leave it at that. Yeah, you print a shoe in a building full of shoe printers and that's the end of it. And then, I'm not going to comment on recycling, but I don't know how you would recycle this, but hopefully that's, maybe they're figuring that out. Anyway, so let's get into this. The Eddy, everybody. The other thing that's cool, they really personalize it. This comes with a card, kind of guaranteeing that they give you the best of the best. And if you have any problems, like reach out to this guy. And that the fact that someone, went in with a silver Sharpie and said, "Hey, Jake, enjoy this. I dig it." All right. Without any further ado, pull these out. It's also cool. You get a pair of socks with your Zellerfeld purchase, you get a free pair of socks. I have not worn these yet. They feel cushy. They feel actually kind of thin too, but put them to the test. It's not part of the review. Let's break down this design. Out of the box with these, my first impressions are just how good they feel for a 3D print. I don't know how much Zellerfeld has been working on this, or if this is part of their formulation, but this hand feel of this shoe does feel premium. It doesn't feel like some prints where it's waxy or like, I don't know, plasticky, like it's a toy or something. This feels like foam. It feels, cushy. It's pliable. It's movable. It feels soft is what I'm trying to say. So that's the first impression. I mean, like, if you want something to feel high-end, I think the first thing is hand feel. Like, it's got to feel good. And maybe they haven't thought about this. Maybe they have. I don't know. Probably. But I'm definitely, that's my first call out, is the hand feels great. Now, design language wise, I think we have something that's kind of interesting. A lot of the Zellerfeld shoes are very, I don't know, like, not over the top, but I think as a designer, like, you get really, really excited of the possibilities of not molding things and having to worry about undercuts or tooling problems. Because this is additive, you don't really have to worry about those things. You don't really have to worry about that. And so it's interesting what he's doing here, but what I'm trying to say is I think designers just get way into it. I mean, you see like some pretty wild designs out there. And so that's like when I was deciding on this, like, I understand the drive to push visuals with a new technology. I think that's to be expected, to be wanted. But I think if you're trying to pull more customers, like a huge like base into Zellerfeld, I think you're going to want to land something like this. Or if you're trying to convince people that this is the way of the future, having spikes and horns come out of a shoe, while it's interesting, is polarizing, right? Like, it's just, that is what it is. So when Daniel went into like making this, I'm going to guess that he went with the thought of, how do I just get someone into this shoe? Like, how do I just get someone to be interested? And the subtle play of all these textures, I think, is creating this moment where this is a shoe that I want to put on, I want to wear. I think I can wear with a lot of things, especially in this oat color. Not fixating on a color or anything, but what I'm trying to say is the design is pure and so simple, so elegant that it's digestible, and you're not walking away thinking like, well, do I want to wear, a statement piece today? Off the top, I think how he is controlling these textures. Each part of this like shoe, I think, is kind of interesting. It kind of calls back to, casual shoes like Vans. I'm thinking vulcanized. Like, it really just calls back to some of these shoes of the past that we think of when we think of casual footwear. We think of these lines, and it's interesting to capture those lines, but in a futuristic, additive process. But then you call back and just say like, we realize what comfort is, and it doesn't matter if we're moving into new technology. Comfort is what comfort is, and this is what we're going to do. So super interesting. I love like the control again, like the restraint. This texture could have been really big, but it's controlled. the texturing here also could have been overblown, but it's controlled. And again, kind of nods to some of these old vulcanized, older casual shoe, these lines. It's very soft. Same with this. I mean, like, I think what's interesting is kind of like an exaggerated thickness. And so in that way, I think maybe that's like the big new, like today kind of thing. Bringing it that high is kind of splitting the shoe almost in half. And what I mean by that is like the thickness here and the thickness here are like pretty close. Whereas a lot of times you see shoes that, you know, some of the shoes, the midsoles now are like bigger than the upper. Some of them, you know, it's more upper dominant and you don't have a lot of midsole. This is kind of riding the line, but it's super interesting how he's doing it. He's controlling like the silhouette. It's very anatomical as well, how this is sitting in the toe box. You know, a lot of shoes aren't built to look like your foot. This one is, but in a good way. Like, I think we can do it in a way that's not great. And I had this conversation the other day with someone. It's like, you don't want to build a foot, right? Like, and as weird as that is to say, like you want to build something. There has to be tolerances because the foot moves, it swells, toes move, and you know, splay, and there's all this stuff. So there is all of that built in here, but you can do it in a shape that's more accommodating than a last, or like hyper wasting the bottom, you know, like some shoes do. This gives you a platform to walk on that is, you know, a bit more anatomical. You know, and there's this texture on the front. It's checkerboardy, and I get that. But I saw a video the other day where Daniel like put the little smoke vapor thing in here, and like all of these are like super breathable. I put this shoe on, I tried it on, and it is breathable. I mean, wouldn't you believe it? So it's cool that he's putting that over the whole area of the foot, where this is where like heat leaves. You know, this is where heat escapes the shoe. So it's all built to that. Very pliable, very easy to get on. And what's interesting too about this build that I didn't realize was going to happen when I got it. I didn't realize this was part of it. Is that they control the hardness. So on the heel, this is like takes a bit more effort to bend it because it's just harder than like the upper, which is way more pliable and movable and bendable, which is what you want because you're flexing through here. But this is like it's way more rigid. So I feel like you can, wrench and get your shoe in or get your foot in. And then talking about the bottom, I think this is my favorite part of the shoe, this herringbone. Again, like calling to casual footwear, but doing it in like a new way. This is highly softened. These zigzags are softened up. And I love the control around the bottom net, the bottom template. I love that control where he's just fading it out, being real subtle. There is some toe spring, just like a slight bit built in. There's a little bit of heel bevel as well, but just slight. Nothing to like, it's not giving you any kind of rocker. It's just enough to help the shoe move and not feel like you have to get over it. Love the branding as well. Shout out HEK.LAB, right? But anyway, just that control, like it is just so subdued. He could have been very bold with all of these elements, and he's just like held back. But give us just enough to make it interesting. I love, like, also, it's just something that people don't really talk about is like this collar shape. I love this length, what we're getting here. Again, that's kind of dynamic. If there was something like all of these, and because this is like our nerdy shoe talk, right? I'm a designer breaking down design. Everything matters, right? Like all of this combines to make, this whole visual that we're experiencing. So just like the length of this, like it just feels futuristic, and like you can almost see like ankle, foot, like, and how it just like goes in there, and and the allowances and everything. I was going to say, going back to the hardness, clearly the outsole, I'm like feeling this. And if I try to squeeze, it doesn't move and bend, as much. It seems like they have control over the hardness in certain areas. And so this outsole is definitely like a little bit more, ready to take abrasion than I'd say the upper probably is. And then, what's cool, I didn't know this until I put it on, was like, you kind of sink in. There's not a lot of, it's kind of a flat, it's not sitting as high up as this makes you think you're going to be sitting. You kind of sit like right here, which is, maybe 3/4 of an inch. But you sit on this and you're basically on the ground. If you're used to like high stack shoes, like, I just showed some shoes that were high stack. If you're used to that, like you're going to be on the floor, like, and it's kind of an interesting feeling to feel the floor after kind of not feeling it for a long time, like in a shoe. But yeah, it's, you sit into it a bit. But it feels great. When you get it on, it feels good. It's light too. Like, I don't think they talk about that all that much, but, it's not a lot of weight. But yeah, that's kind of like it overall. It's, very interesting. Very intriguing, in the future. This is like another one of those shoes where like, yeah, I'm going to wear it, but I just don't want to hurt it. Like it's one of those things where like I look at shoes and I think these are works of art. Like these are things that my friends have done, people I know have done. It's hard for me to separate that sometimes and just think, oh man, just wear the shoe. But, this is a moment. Like I went to school with Daniel. We talked about footwear, we talked about cool shoes, and now that we're in this industry contributing to it is just, it's a moment, right? And so again, just seeing this design, congratulations to him. This looks, fantastic. Again, one of those products where I'm going to say like, this convinces me more that I could get into 3D print. And I'm into the other ones where it's, more loud that you're wearing a 3D printed shoe. But like this kind of does it for me. Like this is one I could, again, every day wear. I think that was the whole point. But again, kind of breaking it down, the control. I love this line that comes around and whips back around. You close this in the heel, and these are things that they're just call outs to people to know that it's a shoe. You close the heel to make it feel supportive. You bring that support and make the print more dense and a little less pliable in the heel to give like, that like stability feel. Like you do all of those things. And it's not, I think when I see a shoe like this, it's so simple. It makes me appreciate like it's an appreciation of where footwear has been, but you're doing it in this new way of manufacturing. You realize breathability needs to be here, but it's 3D print. So you got to put a texture that's interesting, that breathes. You want people to wear it. So you're adding this like horizon line that's calls to vulcanization and like Chuck All-Stars and like these shoes that you are classics, but then you do it in a way that's, specialized to 3D print. And you even sit it flat like those shoes are, like on the ground, really low. And then you cap it off by giving us a herringbone that's, attractive, but clearly you've like radius these, it's not sharp. Some herringbones are like, basketball can get like, like it's not sharp. It's like distilled. It's calming. All those things together, I think, makes this shoe what it is. And excellent. I mean, everything about this shoe, I can tell Daniel went through went back and forth about a lot of things and ultimately came out with a very controlled, very distilled shoe that I think and I hope will bring more and more people over to Zellerfeld and get 3D printed shoes out there. To date, I've only seen one pair of 3D printed shoes out and about. And it was like a meeting that I attended in downtown Portland, and a guy was just wearing 3D printed shoes. And I think it was a Zellerfeld, one of the many designs online. So yeah, that's it. That's a shoe review. I'm excited to wear these. I put them on. I thought they were great. Very excited to just rep them, show other people. A lot of people, it's interesting being in this industry. No one, not many people are seeing this. I think we're designers, developers, your materials or color, you're on the cutting edge. And so when you see stuff like this, this is, it's exciting. See what Adidas is doing, what they've been doing in the past and how much they're putting into it still to develop it. And then you have Zellerfeld, and you have a couple other people now who are popping up who are 3D printing footwear, but it's only going to continue to grow, I think, as these textures and filaments and things get better and better and better. I think we'll see more and more 3D printed shoes out and about. Really excited about this. I want to say shout out Daniel, HEK.LAB. Go check out his stuff. Obviously, he's brilliant. Working at On, designing your performance shoes over there at On. Very talented. Did Puma cleats for soccer. Boots. Did boots. It's in his shoes have been all over the place. Neymar. He's even had a couple of these in some famous hands with Bieber. So love it. Really excited to see his work out and about. This is great. I'm, thrilled to have these. That's a review. That's Tech Packs Are Due. This is a special episode. That's a review. This is Tech Packs Are Due special episode because I got some cool stuff. Got some, all right. That's a review. Special episode, Thanksgiving week, just trying to get one out there. Thank you to everyone who has been watching the sketch sessions. I appreciate that. Let's keep getting those views up there, get those likes, get those subscribes, tell people about us. There will be kind of like a part 2 here where you can see some other shoes I talked about. But let's wrap that up here. Thanks again for sending me this. I feel blessed to be a part of this industry, to know such creative, talented people who are putting these things together. But we'll catch you next time. We'll get that portfolio review episode done, wrapped up. It should be great, and we'll get more sketch sessions on the way. Looking at your all's work and reviewing it and sketching over. I think we're just going to keep doing that for the rest of the year and getting into what we have planned for next year. I think that's it. I think we'll call it. Tech Packs Are Due. We will catch you next time. Let's go.